to kind of have an effect on this mid fight?
It's got to be the soldiers. It's Snake. Snake mid itself, I feel like it's the kind of mid where your soldiers have to have something a little bit coordinated, some kind of decent plans in terms of their jumps, not just kind of hope for the best. Especially not against the Finnish power duo of Credu and Nuthouse, but here we are going into first mid, CJ.
Yes, I'm just going to be watching the mechs here as old Callback goes straight across, doesn't even hesitate and gets destroyed by a pipe there from Adrenaline. And Mex there tried to take control of the logs, but he couldn't. He got melted. Still is taking the top area here, actually. And it does look like top 5 are a little bit separated. Fleur goes down, as does Credu. And it's just Nuthouse and Elacor to keep Ombrak for company here. And they're deciding rather smartly to back off. The only casualty in the end there was Mex. Just spawning now. And Hard Gaming win that fight fairly comprehensively there, Epoli. I mean, Callback was straight in without a moment's hesitation, but Hard Gaming just played passively and just picked people off one by one.
Yeah, Callback's play was very kind of all or nothing. He went in, he couldn't really do anything, and you're then just taking the mid 5v6. We got actually what should have been an Uber trade, but it's not been an Uber trade at all. Ombrex just only had to use about 60% better Uber. They pick up Mex, they lose Fluo, doesn't really matter, but no, actually, as good as that was for top 5, Hard Gaming did manage to get out in their entirety. So this is actually equal players, equal Ubers. We'll be seeing a pretty standard setup on each side of this kind of a second to mid choke point.
This is the kind of moment where I thought, maybe Hard Gaming will say, okay, we're in control of mid. Let's get a sniper and just set up camp and make it difficult for top 5 to get a push going. But actually, I'm thinking after that mid fight, they're feeling pretty confident. And you look at the way that they're building. Bez is building very fast here. Using that basher just to hurt himself with the sword at least. And Dingo is at 90%, that's 20% more than Ombrak. And if Hard Gaming push on the dot here, they are going to have a massive Uber advantage over top 5 Rocket. And as they are holding close, they're taking a little bit too long.
It's too slow. It's way too slow. Like I thought for a second there, like Hard Gaming would go for a really aggressive. Obviously, they knew that top 5 had like a way better Uber. They knew that they'd be getting a slightly a good couple seconds to kind of get their Uber off, but it just seemed like maybe they're just building hard just to make sure it definitely was equal. I don't know, a little bit kind of unfortunate. I thought we were going to see something super risky, but probably would have thrown top 5 a bit off. But now that they can more or less sit there with their equal Ubers, equal players, and Credu just trying to get some picks on Sniper, looking towards Saw right now. Seeing what he can see,
Yeah, just trying to work a gap. Bez is getting aggressive, just kind of peeking himself. Scouting out, excuse the pun, just trying to see what is going on and get an idea. And they know that there's a sniper in it. They're kind of teasing him here. Cody's just clearing up the stickies, and I don't know, it's quite ballsy. They don't want him to have the time and the space as Mex has jumped in behind. He's actually survived and got into cheese. He's going to get cleaned up there by Fleur. He came in from behind. And now he's essentially a pick here, but Credu goes down to the stickies of Adrenaline going forward and managing to get that kill. So there isn't going to be any cheeky picks coming out of top 5 for the time being. Be interesting to see if Credu decides to respawn on that sniper or if he's going to opt for something else, because it does seem that Hard Gaming, they're not deciding to go anything else. Actually, scratch that. Take what I just said back, Eeply, because Mex has respawned on Spy. So we do have a Spy play coming in here. Mex is just coming in through Kitchen, and I do wonder what he's going to be trying to do here, as Credu's actually respawned on Scout. So, I'm not sure if he checked in spawn equally. Don't know if he went spy and checked for any off classes.
I actually was looking exactly for that, and as far as I'm aware, I don't think he did, which is a little bit of an oversight for top 5. That was like a little bit of free information they could have gathered there, especially since the idea of some kind of off classes would still be pretty obvious, honestly, but at the same time, I said Mex is just, taking all that time trying to get into position, just sitting under doorways trying to get some of his cloak back.
He did take damage there from a rocket jump from Fluo, and I'm not sure if he was spotted. He's actually uncloaked here. He's coming in from behind Ombrak. Is he going to get the stab? He beats him, and he gets it anyway, and that is a drop. Ombrak down. Fluo immediately jumps in through the window here, trying to go for a pick. Lands straight onto Dingo, who has to use his Uber. Callback, came in for the follow-up. Both of those get destroyed. 15-second
really good
respawn
for
queue.
top 5 though. Really good. They managed to get, obviously, Ombrak dropped there. They managed to take down both soldiers. It's almost just unfortunate that Bez didn't manage to get, who is that, Elacor, just then. I'm pretty sure if they killed Elacor, it would have been a situation where they could have taken position and try and get on last super early, but doesn't really matter. Hard Gaming's going to try and build again. I feel like this is one of those situations where, again, they're going to build super, super hard and they could go for like a 20% Uber advantage push. It's like, it's risky. I wouldn't advise it all the time, but, you know, you're going against a team which is way better than you. So why not just try and throw them off, you know? Why not just try and make them, like, take a step back and be like, oh, right, they're not going to wait. They're not going to, like, give this to us, but... They're not getting any position on 90, really.
You need to be brave, and they're actually walking into lobby right now. Ombrak is at 90%. They need to be walking through this door right now. They do, and they do get joggled forward. Ombrak's running towards the spawn, but Nuthouse there takes down Bez as he was flashed off of the Uber. And the rotation for top 5, but Mex is on the point. Callback has to jump in, and the Uber is used just in time. And they're going to start cleaning up this res. Mex and still go down. Adrenaline's trying to escape, but he's surely going to get cleaned up here. He is only 5 HP. Dingo is also getting chased, gets finished off. And Lionheart and Bez there. Lionheart's actually hiding, and he's actually going to go for the back cap. Callback is on last. Is he going to be able to win? Callback doesn't see him!
Callback!
Oh my word, the cap goes down.
Straight over his head. Oh my god, that's actually insane. If they'd lost like that, that would have been it. That would have been just tilt. That would have been done.
That would have been game over for top 5, according to ePlay. No, I know what you mean. That would just get into your head and you think, seriously? But time 6 on the point. On that second point, save top 5. They have time 6 again on the midpoint as they do capture 2 points on the bounce. Ombrak with 70% here. Dingo only at 30%. They're playing quite passive, but they have been building very well here. But really aggressive from Callback, and the entire team is just walking forward. And again, they're just flooding onto the point. They're not giving Hard Gaming any opportunity to get any sort of pick. They're just going forward in a blob. And we do find ourselves on last. Ombrak is going to have about a 30% advantage. And if top 5 push now, they could catch Dingo out as he's only at 80%. They are doing exactly the same that top 5 did, but then Hard Gaming are responding. They're going to come round on the point. Nuthouse gets cleaned up, as does Elikor. Headshot from Bez is going to take down the demo, but there's only 2 players left alive. It's both soldiers for Hard Gaming. They get cleaned up, and top 5 take the first round. Coast to coast, equally, but it could have gone so wrong.
That entire situation was played so, like, apart from the weird little, like, almost losing back up, that was played, I want to say almost perfectly by top 5, apart from the very last little bit, but also quite poorly by Hard Gaming, because it was literally a case of, like, I said, you know, the Uber was so bad for Hard Gaming, top 5 just pounded them on last, and then they took second for free, they took mid for free, they took the other second for free, like, they managed to just get so much of that one little kind of advantage. Hard Gaming wasn't in a great position, but top 5 also did play things right. We have the
Fluo
next
lands a nice rocket there. Sorry, Dingo has to surf it away and actually does do really well. He's managed to escape. Callback and Fluo have both gone down here. Bez and still the casualties for Hard Gaming. Nuthouse gets piped there by Adrenaline. You were talking about these pipes earlier on, Epale, and he's landing them on this mid-fight. And once again, it looks like Hard Gaming have won the second successive mid-fight. So they're looking pretty good. It just seems that top 5 are sending their soldiers in really deep. Dingo had a really nice surf there just to stay alive. And all the focus was on him while the rest of the players just walked forward and fragged what they saw in front of them. And top 5 here on the retreat. And Lionheart gets caught out there. I'm not sure if he was expecting an Uber or something like that. Mex is also down, and top 5 starting to walk forward here. They could take this into on mid-ly because Hard Gaming just seem to be retreating. They're scared.
Yeah, Hard Gaming are so bunched up. They're actually taking an insane amount of damage. They actually managed to force off with Callback really, really easily. I said that, like, all of Hard Gaming are weak as well, so as much as Ombrak did get forced, they can get at least a couple picks. Yeah, they pick up a scout and a soldier for that pretty easily. And the thing is, like, Hard Gaming is still weak now. Yeah, like, they can pick up mechs. They should be able to pick up probably anyone else who plays close. Yeah, Hard Gaming, no. Dingo, Adrenaline, they're not massive bots. They're smart. They know they have to play lobby. Like, they've got to build this Uber. They've got to give up second for free. There's not enough in terms of player advantage because of the spawns for top 5 to go straight into last, but that one kind of force off from Callback managed to more or less buy almost 2 entire capture points, really. Just that one little position where Hard Gaming, they just lost a few too many, then just played a little bit too close together, so they're all just sat there eating the exact same spam, you know?
Exactly, and it's just very difficult, but scratch that. Callback is in here, lands a nice rocket, but Dingo with the surf again. He's been doing very, very well here. Just surviving these bombs coming in from the soldiers. Mex died in the background. I'm not sure how that happened. I think Creddy just picked him up underneath in lower. But because of that retreat, Hard Gaming, like you said, they're doing the opposite of Pasta. have actually got an Uber for last. Lionheart there is off class into the heavy, got the Natasha. Bez on the sniper. Did pick up a nice headshot onto Elikor during the previous push. They did lose it ultimately, but he has maybe warmed up his sniper aim a little bit here. So they're ready, and I'm just going to be interesting to see Credu now, respawns on the sniper. They'll probably try to work his way in, get a pick, and maybe move off of that, but Lionheart, I think, is going to be the player that they're going to want to shift. A heavy with the Natasha in that position is very frustrating to try and push against.
Yeah, exactly. You can't go for that big bomb we saw Callback do, really, when you've got this Natasha heavy, just because you get absolutely pounded into like the skybox, and obviously Dingo's playing the correct kind of position. He's actually playing the classic spot where every medic will ever stand when they know there's a sniper on the enemy team, because Mex did spot early when he spawned that he did go spy a little bit, check some off classes, but actually Top 5's walking most of the way in. They do get forced. They got to try and get the force off hard gaming, actually getting a lot of cap time, but didn't really amount to much. It should probably just be a reset as long as no one bots too hard, you know?
Yeah, they do the smart thing. I think what they were trying to do was just make some space for Credu on this far side. They managed to take down Still and then just kind of pushed in, but got forced really, really early by Mex. He kind of rotated up on top of the shack, got a couple of rockets down onto Ombrak, which forced the Uber, which meant their Uber was just really, really poor. And like you said, against that heavy with the Natasha, very difficult. They just milked the Uber, and it ended up going pretty well for them. But you see Bez goes down there, so he was actually on the
really
scout.
good.
Yeah, and because they used their Uber so much earlier, they actually do have an advantage of about 30%. Callback jumps in. He gets taken down there by Still. Fluo is also in. You see a headshot coming in there from Credu, just getting some damage down. Wow, nice denial onto Mex. He's waiting for an arrow from Dingo, which he duly receives. And actually, Dingo's still only at 80% here. Still goes down, and if Top 5 make their way in, they're not. They're just playing it slow, which... I don't know, they could have maybe thought, okay, we used our Uber much earlier in that previous fight. We're going to have an advantage if we build it properly. And that 30% is just kind of gone now, and they're still just relying on Credu to get a pick here. Mex getting aggressive. Just so much damage done on this far side. Does trade his life for it, though, and Adrenaline's now the one to rotate to try and make sure Credu doesn't get that space. But Top 5 just being very meticulous about this. They want to get it right. They don't want to rush things.
Yeah, I said, like, they didn't go for the same kind of push as Hard Gaming made, where, you know, it was a clear Uber advantage. Obviously, we can see that, seeing exactly what the Ubers are at. We saw it was about 35%, but Top 5 weren't 100% sure of that. But while we're saying this, Credu took down Adrenaline. We now have a little Uber trade going on, nothing too much happening. I think Top 5 are going to try and do this repush, but they're just getting minced in this doorway.
Yeah, the soldiers are coming in again from the far side, but Lionheart is just... He's an anti-aircraft gun. He is just denying those soldiers brilliantly. Bez goes down again to those Iron Bomber pipes from Elikor. And that was really interesting. I mean, Credu got the headshot onto Adrenaline. No demo for that fight. They came in and they pretty much just soloed Fluo. You know, just focused, got the force from Dingo, and then the soldiers rotated to the far side and repushed later on. But that heavy isn't being dealt with. And you really think with the space that they may want to get Credu in and just try to take down Lionheart. Because at the moment, he is the person who is denying the soldiers the space. And when Top 5 don't have their soldiers kind of making that space, it seems very difficult for the rest of the players to get in and actually have an effect on the last push.
I think the biggest problem is, like, they went for this trade and then they kind of went for this repush, but they were repushing through Shutter. And I feel like if Top 5 could have just got through, like, far left-hand side and actually been somewhere a little bit more open, not get, like, caught in the actual Shutter door, they would have stood way more of a chance. But it's just a situation where you're trying to get 3 or 4 guys through, like, one Shutter. You're all taking so much damage, and said, like, you couldn't take any position at all. To me, it seems like going far left on that repush would have made way more sense, but I guess they must have had some decent, some reasonable logic for it. Maybe they thought they somehow did have a slightly better Uber or had done enough damage to force them back.
We do see the soldiers just again trying this far side. Callback is in, trying to get some damage down. Best on the sniper, does take down Fluo, so one soldier down for Top 5, but Credu responds with a headshot onto Still. So, you know, Mex now alone on this far side. He's trying to deny Callback the space. Oh, wow. Credu with the body shot onto Mex as he drops down from that railing. 2 soldiers down now. Callback's very finally. Lionheart goes down to the headshot from Credu, and Top 5 immediately respond by taking all of their players in the far side. They're focusing the point. Nuthouse is surely going to die here, but he's got so much time on the point for it already. Callback and Still are in the air trying to trade rockets. Callback gets caught there by the Uber, and
they can get time. They can get time so easily here. They just stand on that point, get the spammer. That's very unfortunate.
Or
That's
should I
very
say buff?
unfortunate.
That is not good from top 5. I mean, there was a saw there as well. I think Dingo actually got 2 saws because he's up at 58%. I only saw 1, but Lionheart there back onto the scout after the past few minutes on heavy now. His aim's fine. He takes down Ombrak. So Ombrak and Elikor in a 10-second respawn queue right now, and that might allow Hard Gaming to push this. They have the heals, they have the player advantage, and they do have the Uber advantages. Dingo's at 80%, and we can come back to what happened on that last point, but it looks like Hard Gaming are going to capture this mid-bite. But what happened there? Like, it looked so good for top 5, and in the end, it all just went horribly wrong.
I think it kind of comes down to Credu got so many headshots. Like, he made, obviously, top 5's entire, like, opportunity to get into last was off of Credu. But once they lost their other scout trying to get that early cap time, they didn't really have anyone in a decent position to get on point. They had to end up with, like, a soldier ×1. They got, like, a lot of cap, but I don't know, they were so kind of focused on dealing with things, not letting them out of spawn, they didn't get the time when it was possible, and then suddenly they're like, oh, we need to get on point, right. And kind of too late at that time, but...
Oh wow,
Nuthouse
comes in.
On second.
Yeah, this is really good from top 5. Callback came in and got the force with a nice sync rocket. Big pump in from Still, trying to get something done, but Callback came in, a sync rocket took down Bez and forced Dingo. And it was a really, really bad Uber from Hard Gaming. They could do nothing with it. And then top 5 realised no Ubers for either team. They just pushed in and won the DM battle in the end. They took down Dingo in the process. So Ombrak is at 100% now. Top 5 capping the midpoint. And Dingo at 20%. You can see how far back they're holding. Back on the balcony on second. We do see no off classes, which I would have thought Bez would have respawned on the sniper there or something. But Mex is behind. He's going to try and get something. He's nowhere near the medic. Actually, he gets absolutely melted there by Nuthouse. And Hard Gaming are back on last. And once again, we see this position. We saw this in the first round, equally, where Hard Gaming just gave up ground for a few points, and they still have an Uber to contend with here as top 5 are taking this
my
first
god,
up.
Bez just takes down Ombrak in the sickest, like, he just walks out of spawn straight on him. That's actually insane. Okay, that drop, as long as they can actually play enough around the hills, Lionheart's still on the heavy, he can do a certain amount, but now it's actually just Dingo caught on point. That's so unfortunate for Hard Gaming. I thought for sure that crisp little headshot was gonna, like, just allow them to at least take back second, probably mid, but I guess, the damage had kind of already been done.
I think the players were already in. The
Yeah.
players were already in deep, and that meant the Natasha wasn't having as great an effect. Lionheart was, swiveling around, trying to find someone to shoot, and Nuthouse was right in his face. And, Scout versus Heavy, when you're right in the face like that, is very, very difficult to contend with. And Lionheart really didn't have that kind of denial potential that he had earlier on. But we knew mid-fight here, third mid-fight, Callback has gone really far behind. So no bomb from him this time, and it's much more slow mid from top 5. Not saying that the soldiers on Callback slowly comes in like a ninja from behind, takes down Dingo. A nice air pipes there coming in from Elikor, I think it was, takes down Bess as well. And this is just a slaughter. Last player is alive is Adrenaline. He's fighting Callback on second. He's in sword. It's probably just going to mean a really late spawn for him now. He's going to try to get out. No, Nuthouse catches him out. 3k for him on the mid fight. Pretty well played by him. And
I gotta interrupt very quickly just to mention Ombrak did run crits to that mid, so actually this last push is nowhere near as kind of obvious a win as it would have been if they were on Uber. The problem is, I don't think Hard Gaming knew at any point. Like, they had time to start building a gun instead of going for this heavy. They were sacking guys later on in the mid fight to try and get Ombrak, which maybe if he's on crit you kind of don't care about as much. You just try and get people out alive, but little bit unfortunate. You see how much time there was in order to actually get a gun here. But that being said, Elikor gets taken down anyway. The crits is just going to be some random rocket spammed, and I think what's actually going to happen is this entire push is just going to get cancelled.
Yeah, and now that they've seen that crit rocket, they realise it is crits, and I think Dingo on 70% here can already feel he's they got the bit between their teeth. We're not scared of, the crits. We're going to have Uber any second now. And they're pushing out onto second here, covering all of the angles. So there's no potential of a back cap right now. Big jumps in from the soldiers. Dingo actually gets caught in by the door there. And Credu wins the fight and takes down Lionheart. And that was an awkward moment there. Dingo almost getting caught out because he didn't quite surf and got caught in the doorway. But he does survive. He is,
I think just... kind of mentioned the big differences we're seeing between the teams is just how Top 5 are way better at denying space and taking their own position than...
Oh, no.
Oh, my lord.
Do you know when I
kidding
said
me.
they knew they had crits? You'd think they'd be a little bit more prepared for a crit sticky. Doesn't matter. Takes down Dingo and Adrenaline in one. And that is 2 players left alive for Hard Gaming. Top 5 do trade a lot of players for this, and actually, and one of the players alive is Lionheart. So he has that Natasha, and he can probably deny any bombs coming in, because Korvac decides not to contest that last point. But there was a drop there from Dingo, but he is going to respawn, and just taking a look, he is on the Uber, so no shenanigans coming out of him. So Umbrak is going to have kind of a smallish advantage, but it's not huge. But both medics on the medigun now, equally, so we're kind of back to where we were on round 2.
Yeah, I just go back to that drop. I actually cannot believe that happened. I guess, like, you know, position was taken and the crits managed to get in. Actually, top 5 are going for an off Uber push. Umbrak goes straight down to Adrenaline. Not Adrenaline, sorry, still hiding in that tiny little spot. Same kind of position we had before where Umbrak is dead, so Hard Gaming just need to kind of play together, play the heals. But actually, they're kind of falling to pieces now in the exact same way that we saw before, actually.
I mean, I like this strat. I don't think Umbrak likes the strat, where it's like, let your medic die and then win the round anyway. But yeah, it's like you said, you know, their medic's dead, they just flood forward, and they end up winning it, because, you know, they did take down Umbrak there, but Korvac picked up 2, including Adrenaline. You just don't have that denial on the point with no stickies. And that was a much quicker round, and I just think top 5 not getting impatient, but they're just realizing on these last points they can just maybe hold W a little bit more. But we do see a different mid-fight. Fluo, nice couple of rockets onto Adrenaline. He's so weak, but gets a great arrow from Dingo just to survive, and that is 3 down for top 5 as Lionheart picks up Korvac behind enemy lines. And once again, Hard Gaming looking very, very solid on these mid-fights. They just seem to know what they're doing, and I think Fluo and Korvac there reverted to what they did in the first couple of rounds equally and just kind of sent themselves in, but Fluo is still behind on mid.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that top 5 aren't actually managing to actually win some mid fights, because this is... Yeah, I get Hard Gaming have been a team for quite a while, you know, top 5's technically playing with the Merc, but just from a DM point of view, you would have thought top 5 would be pounding, but none of that actually matters, because they managed to take down Dingo with just Elikor walking forward with his stickies. So,
yeah,
no idea exactly how that happened. It just seemed like Elikor was able to take all the position. I don't think Dingo quite had. I can't imagine it was actually a drop. That would have been...
It was at 98%, I think. I think it was just about to tick over to 99, so as close as you can probably be, you know, but clenchingly close. But in the end, didn't have it, so technically not a drop. But again, now we're seeing a situation here, which we've seen round after round. Top 5 have an advantage. They're in control. They're pushing forward. For me, this is the moment where either Mex or Still need to go forward and, you know, maybe a double bomb or something just to get the force onto Umbrak or put some pressure onto him. Otherwise, for Hard Gaming are going to find themselves on last against an Uber advantage once again. And, you know, we've seen it just, that's not going to work for them. Although they are building well, I just feel that, oh no, never mind, top 5 are taking it slow. So you can just ignore what I've said. But I feel that Hard Gaming are giving up a lot of ground for free, I think is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, I think, like, it was possible that Hard Gaming could have kind of confused the Uber advantages, thought that their disadvantage was just a little bit more than it was, but I think that all kind of went out the window the second Nuthouse died to a sticky trap, so it's like, top 5 don't want to push with a 15% advantage with 5 people, and Hard Gaming, you know, they're always just going to play in such a position as they're close enough to trade, not so far where they get forced, but actually Dingo being this far away, giving them all the space on grass, I'm actually a little bit baffled about how they're allowing top 5 to get in so far, and actually top 5 are doing so much damage, Mex and Bez goes down, this Uber gets popped off from Dingo, like Umbrak's nowhere near to get forced, that's just giving up things for free, I don't understand that at all, like, you have the equal Ubers, if they're coming grass, like, you've got to start moving towards them to, like, at least do some kind of trade. Worst comes to worst, you don't back up into your lobby, then just stand there and be like, well, we had people die. That's unfortunate, you know? Seems crazy, like, not even getting a force on Umbrak in that entire situation is just... I don't know, they're like, they're showing respect to the enemy team, and then they're just running away like little scared children.
It's exactly what I was talking about, you know? They're giving up a lot of ground, and they give up so much ground there on grass. Just allow them to walk in, and that's the worst possible situation. Lose 2 and have your medic force. We see there Nuthouse and Elikor receiving the bulk of the Uber. Best, though, takes down Korvac with a shot, but 2 down for Hard Gaming. Nobody focusing the point just yet. They're focusing the frags. Adrenaline goes down to Nuthouse, and he's going to pick up another one. Takes down Still. then decides to go for the point. Dingo is going to try his best with the Ubersaur out, but I don't think he's going to manage to get anything done. That's going to make it 4-0 to top 5, and I don't think that's reflective of the game we've seen, but I just think, I don't want to say naivety, because the players on Hard Gaming, they've been around for a long time, they know how to play this game, but I just feel maybe they're showing a little bit too much respect to top 5 in those situations, in the stalemates, have a little bit more confidence in themselves. They've shown that they have the ability to on the mid fights, but in these stalemates, they're just kind of maybe giving them a little bit too much space, and that's allowing top 5 just to take advantage of it. But Callback doing the same as he did in the third round, and just going in behind through Kitchen, so we'll see if he gets in behind, but still takes down Elikor very early on, gets a 2k, takes down Nuthouse as well before dying to Credu, and Hard Gaming look like they are in control of this fight, as Callback also died, Max cleaning him up before he could do the same to Dingo as he did earlier on. And like I said, Hard Gaming seem to have these mid fights down pat.
Yeah, it's like, I think when we're talking about all the mistakes and all the problems Hard Gaming have, it's not like, I don't think you can see it from the point of view of like them being bad. It's the fact that Hard Gaming are, in terms of a lot of scrappy kind of fight situations, Hard Gaming are able to contest a team like top 5 completely. It's their positioning, it's their decision making. It's almost like they don't realize that they're able to like contest as well as they actually can. It's more like the like the psychological thing of like, oh, they're top 5, they're a prem team, like, they'll pound us if we try and like play close, if we try and play like an equal kind of position. And it's the kind of situations like that where you do one thing because you're like a little bit spooked, and then it all just kind of like keeps rolling out of control, and then that's how we did see the other round. About 3 control points managed to get lost.
We do see a force actually come in here. Callback got the force, and oh wow, we do see Ombrak. Oh wow! I don't think he would have died from full damage there, but I'm going to pretend in my head he did.
It would have
been
the
died.
sickest little sink.
Yeah, he lands on the pipe there just to conserve his HP. Elikor does die, and wow, Ombrak is going to get forced. He got surrounded there by Adrenaline Stickies. Who is going to die to Nuthouse? Dingo is being chased here. Can he get away? It looks like he can, actually. So Hard Gaming are going to back off. They're going to give up the second point, but will have an Uber advantage of some sort, of only about 20% if they keep building this properly. Elikor just respawning. But so is Adrenaline, so no demos in the action for the time being. But Bez is on the sniper. He has a lots of space. He has a sight onto Ombrak. Oh, he can't. Ombrak is juking him like mad. Actually sends an arrow that way. What disrespect there. Just, I can try and snipe you, friend. Let's see how it goes. But Hard Gaming do lose Mex and Lionheart, so they're just having to back off again. But they do have the sniper available, easily, so they can just slow this down a little bit and try to get control.
Problem is, they can't. It's 2 minutes 35 or something along those lines, and they're 4 rounds down, so physically impossible for them to actually get enough rounds. They need to start getting some, like, consolation rounds, at least, At least go for, like, the Reddit plays. Something like killing Elikor just before an Uber trade happens. That kind of play would be good, Chasing them out or something. It's 2 minutes 20. Alright, Bez. Yeah, let's do it. Let's hit some more shots. Let's just pound them on a second. Go straight through the last. Come on.
Lionheart just drops down from the window and is just kind of dumbing into them, and wow, combines with Adrenaline
that's
to
more
just
like it, boys.
wipe
Come
them.
on. That's it. This is the, people would argue dead time, whatever. This is like the consolation, right? This is what we'd really do. We weren't limiting
Another
ourselves
headshot
by
there
playing
from Bez.
sensibly.
Elikor actually gets headshot there by Bez before he gets cleaned up by the rest, and that was just great. I mean, maybe like it's a little bit too late, of course. For this game, 4-1, just under 2 minutes to go before the end of the match. But it's a consolation round, and I don't know, maybe Hard Gaming could look at themselves and say, actually, we can do it. Like, if we just play normally and just play our way, we can actually get something done here. So hopefully going into future games, they're going to remember this. I mean, Snakewater seems to be very good for them on the mid-fights. We'll see who wins the final mid-fight as both soldiers go in very deep, but Credu denies still there. Great. Just meat shots him out of the sky. Gets taken down by Bez in the end. But top 5 just playing very slowly this time around. Finally, Fluo goes in for the bomb. Dingo surfs it away. Fluo gets cleaned up. Callback comes in for the follow-up and takes down Adrenaline. So it does look like top 5 are going to win this. I think only their second mid-fight out of a possible 6. So, I don't know, maybe other teams are going to be looking at this and thinking...
No. They're walking back in, CJ. They're walking back in.
Oh.
Hard Gaming are like, right, 50 seconds. We're going to make the Reddit plays. We're just going to run at them. We're going to hit every single shot, right? Yeah? Come on, boys.
Every shot. Every shot. Ubers haven't been used yet, and now Hard Gaming are holding S, but We do see still getting taken down there by Credu. And I think the battle is going to be on grass, or maybe on Saw. We'll see. Elikor is kind of alone here. And Lionheart just runs around behind him. Little ring around Rosie there onto grass. Takes down Elikor in the end. Ubers are exchanged. Ombrak running to last already. Maybe feeling he can get another round in the bank. If,
No,
his
Ombrak's
team
going over
captures
the
second.
Saws, you know. He knows. Yes, my boy. See, Ombrak knows. He's on the flanking route. 10 seconds to go. There's another round in this. Come on.
He's only 3 alive for Hard Gaming here, and Dingo is getting bombed. Dingo's on the point. He's blocking Nuthouse from getting any cap time whatsoever. Everyone else is flooding, and they do actually stop it. Hero plays there from Dingo and co. just to stop another round going on the board, but it does finish 4-1 in the favor to Top 5 Rocket. And I don't know, I think, like, if I was to summarize that in a short way, I'd just say, hey, great mid fights from Hard Gaming, but Top 5 just kind of showing their quality and experience in the transitions. They're just going from their last to the enemy's last in a matter of moments. They just seem very comfortable.
Yeah, I think you've really got to say, like, Hard Gaming had better mid fights. Top 5 had better literally